it's there in my life, I think. So that is why like Shanmugasundaram sir approached me for the classes regularly, and I thank Shanmugasundaram sir for giving me the opportunity again and again, like believing me I will be doing the best in the field of like yoga as well as the stress management for the participants. So I'll just move on with the session right now. And so initially we start with the stress. That is, stress management is nothing but like it is something like a psychological effects which is happening in the body. That is like a positive as well as negative approaches are there. But commonly we term it as a negative one, negative aspect. So in that reason, everyone will be saying like I have a stress, I am in depression. So that is not actually like a negative word, where the stress is like a positive stress also is there, where many are not aware of it. So for the students, we'll have with the start with the students. So students, they have the reaction towards the environment as well as there is a, like some wear and tear. That is a hand Sally is she is the author, or like she is explaining about the stress, like how the students can come out of it. That is like a small wear and tear. If a person like goes in a like a street, and if he falls on the road, then that is like a small wound. The same way the stress is also is there in every man's life. Even if it is a baby, or even if it is like a school going children, and then the college going, or like a housewife, or like a person who is working in a higher like a category, every individual is having the stress. So how we have to consider the stress, whether it is in the positive way or in the negative way. So initially it is like a positive way. If we approach, then there won't be any negative effects in the happening in the body. So in that way we just move on with the like with the stress. So stress is like a eustress, that is the good stress which I'm talking about. That is like a getting into a college. So after a course is completed in the school, then after 12th, everyone will be very happy to enter the college life, because as it's shown in many media, like a college life will be very very happy, and they will be enjoying to the core than the school life. So the same way, the each and every person like completing their school life, they will be having a happy like a stress. That is, I'm just going to join, how my life will be there in the college, how I'm going to approach with my peer mates, how I'm going to approach with my faculties, so how I'm going to cope up with my studies, and after the studies what I'm going to do. So all these will be there, but this is all like called as the eustress, because they're having all these in a positive attitude, but still they feel like a tensed, or they make it as a habit that I'm just feared of. So that is called as the eustress.
மேம்
And even
மேம்
like
மேம் சாரி ஃபார் திஸ்
yes,
பிபிடி
sir.
ஓபன் பண்ணல மேம். நீங்க பவர் பாயிண்ட் ஓபன் பண்ணிக்கிறீங்களா?
PowerPoint open ஆகலைங்களா சார்?
ஓபன் ஆகல. அந்த ஃபோல்டர்ஸ் மட்டும் எங்களுக்கு தெரியுது. அந்த
ஓகே.
டெஸ்ட் மேனேஜ்மென்ட் கிளிக் பண்ணுங்க மேடம். கிளிக் பண்ணி ஓபன் பண்ணுங்க. பவர் பாயிண்ட் விண்டோ தெரியல எனக்கு.
இல்ல, அது ஆக்சுவலா கிளிக் ஆகி ஓபன்ல தான் சார் இருக்கு.
ஓபன்ல இருக்கு. நீங்க இப்ப ஸ்டாப் ஷேரிங் கொடுத்துருங்களேன்.
ஓகே, 1 செகண்ட்.
ஸ்டாப் ஷேரிங் பண்ணிட்டு ஒன் செகண்ட் யூ கோ டு ஷேர் விண்டோ போயிட்டு பவர் பாயிண்ட் விண்டோவை செலக்ட் பண்ணுங்க மேம். இப்பவும் அந்த ஃபோல்டர் தான் தெரியுது எனக்கு.
இது இப்ப ஓபன் ஆகுறது தெரியுதா சார்?
இல்ல, நாட் இட் மேம். ஜஸ்ட் டெஸ்ட் மேனேஜ்மென்ட் அந்த ஃபோல்டர் தான் தெரியுது. உங்களுக்கு சி கோலன் இருக்கு இல்லையா? டி கோலன்ல ஃபோல்டர்.
1 செகண்ட்.
அந்த ஃபோல்டர்ஸ் தான் தெரியுது. எஸ் மேம். கொஞ்சம் மினிமைஸ் பண்ணிக்கங்க மேம். ஓகே.
தெரியுதா சார்?
தெரியுது. ஃபுல் ஸ்க்ரீன் வரல எனக்கு. ஜூம் இன் பண்ணிக்கங்க. கொஞ்சம் மினிமைஸ் பண்ணிக்கங்க. அது வந்து ஸ்க்ரீன் வந்து பெருசா இருக்கு. இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் மினிமைஸ் பண்ணுங்க. இன்னும் மினிமைஸ் பண்ணுங்க மேம்.
இப்ப தெரியுதா சார்?
ஓகே மேம். எஸ் மேம். நவ் இட்ஸ் ஓகே. ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் இன் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்ன்றது.
Okay.
ஓகே மேம். தேங்க் யூ மேம்.
Yeah, thank you.
தேங்க் யூ.
So this is what I'm talking about. That is a stress in students. That is where the human reaction to events in our environment. And Han Sally, she finds the stress as wear and tear of the body. So when we talk about the wear and tear, so it is like a natural thing which affects in the body. So when we walk, we'll be getting the hurt. So that is like after few days, it will be getting recovered. So that recovery time alone we have to give. The same way for the stress also, everyone will be getting hurt. That is, if a peer mat is insulting in front of others, then definitely they will be having the stress, where they will be getting recovered within like 1 or 2 days, because the person who hurted him will be the close friend. So he will not be able to have revenge on him, or like having like any other negative stress. So he will be coming back. That is, the recovery will be very soon if they have the stress in the students. That is the eustress. And the stress which is like having, it is called as the eustress, that is getting into college and getting engaged and winning a lottery, or like winning a game. So anything like a winning is where you will be enjoying to the core, and you will be feeling that we are like the world's happiest person. So that will be any one moment in our life we would have achieved that, or we would have felt that. So that is where it is called as the eustress. Then that will be the positive stress also. So the stress which is like a negative way, or which will be having the bad sources, so that is like calling it as the difficulty in a working environment. If a senior person is insulting with in front of other faculties, or if they are giving a targeted work, that within this time you have to finish all your works and you have to come back to me. So that is all the stress where we involve physically as well as mentally, and will be getting tired. So that is like the bad sources. And some of the sounds which will make them stress, and this will be like a physically also, it affects with the asthma conditions, where if a sound is near the railway track, because most of the time the railway sounds will be horning, but some will be like used to it, and some will not be able to adjust, even though after many years. So what they will be having it as like the stress, whenever they hear that sound they will be having the stress, and that will be getting accumulated in the body as a like cumulative effect. They will be getting the asthma as a problem, where that is like a breathing problem will be created in the respiratory tract, and that is like the psychological problem will be turning into a physical problem later. So like a threat of a personal injury. So this is all like the distress which we come across. And next will be there, it is like a categorized, or it will be categorized into like a different types. That is a major 4 types of stress, which we call it as general stress. That general stress is everyone will be having. That even today, like as you enter in before the like a Zoom meeting for this FDP, everyone will be hurrying with your work. So morning breakfast thing you have to prepare. If the person is like a female, they have to make it like the home clear with all the works done, and as well as they have to prepare the breakfast, lunch, everything, and they have to attend the FDP. If they are a male, they have to take care of the other things in the home, and as well as the preparation for the FDP, and they have to come in time. So this is like the general stress, everyday stress which we come across, and that will be cleared in 1 or 2 hours, and still more like after 1 or 2 days we will be getting free from the stress. So for example, the organizer of this FDP, so till 6 days they will be in the very eustress, or the distress also sometimes, where they will be having the fear that the participant has to assemble, or the participant has to enter in time, and the resource person have to get the proper materials for their lecture, and all these things are organized in a proper way, they will be having stress. But after 6 days of program completion, they will be feeling complete relaxation. So this is what like a few examples where
What
we
happens, Kristen?
everyday life, and that intervention is not required with any other like a problem, any other treatment. That for everyday life we don't need the treatment, but it is where the second way, where all these in a cumulative way, if you keep on accumulating the stress, that is a small words uttered by the spouse. So if the spouse is like hurting the other, the partner, then that word will be hurting them, but they will not get recovered from that. So they will be keep on accumulating that. So that cumulative stress automatically builds in the body, and that becomes many like gives out the symptoms. That is like it starts from the headache, or like body pain, they don't have the sleep, some will be having the insomnia, that is sleepless disorder. So all these kinds of things will be started one by one, and they will be leading to a major problem in their later days. So where the physical body is also
Kristen, are you there or not? What happened to you?
the physical body is also affected, and
Start prayer.
other parts of like the mind also will be affected, where that will be giving more of psychosomatic disorders.
Let me join the.
So the
Let Kristen pray today.
type is the
Not there.
participants. Can you please mute? It's like a disturbance over there in the talk. Yeah, thank you. So acute traumatic stress. Acute traumatic stress is like a critical incident which has happened, or you are locked down. This lockdown, like during this COVID, many would have experienced, because many will be wandering here and there due to their work, or due to their job, or like any business work, traveling from one city to another city, or one like a state to another state, and one country to another country. But everything got locked, and they are settled in home for more than like 5 months at a stretch. And after that there was a relaxation, where many want to come out like a bursting crackers, they came out, and that spreaded more COVID patients were raised. And because of that, and still there is a like a range of COVID is spreading, but still we don't want to sit in the home, because the one main reason is stress, where that is like accumulated, and we want to come out like a free, enjoy the nature, and we want to like see other faces, like our friends, family members, and all that, apart from our own family. That is like a husband and wife and children. Apart from that, we want to share our feelings to others. So that is where like acute traumatic stress, it will be caused like most of the psychological distress. And that is where the evidence proves that like more suicidal attempts have been taken placed in this like COVID. More and more like suicide attempts has been done, and then the murders has been attempted. So all these were done because they are not able to express the like a subside, or like a control their stress, and they express their stress in the form of like killing others, or like doing harm to others. And even many divers has been applied in the through online, because of the COVID, because they don't want to share their feelings, because the husband goes away in the morning, and the like wife also goes away in the morning for the work, and the children will be taken care by the grannies, or they will be taken care in the creche. But if suppose all this person are together having their stress and showing to others, then that definitely had an impact in their life problem, where there is more separation of families had occurred. And there is like eustress also happened, where more families they live in different parts of the cities, or in the states or countries. They all joined together and had a very nice time after a long days. So this is also one side happened, that is like called as eustress. and the other way it is a distress where that is also happened. So this is all like the acute traumatic thing. And the post traumatic, once they had all these problems, that is like a bursting out and done all that, then definitely they will be having the psychological trauma, like a severe psychological problem, like hurting themselves or like cursing themselves, and they are not indulging in any of their physical activity or regular activity. They will be like dumped in a particular place. So it is like the unresolved, like a critical incident stress they will be creating it. So this is the thing. And then the syndromes, which we call it as general adaptation syndrome, that is the stage one, where the alarm reaction is given. That is a flight and fight is the like one, which is done with the adrenal gland, where that like it is there in the kidney. So if I throw a piece of like a chalk in front of a student, or like in like any person, or I just want to uh, get the grab of me, then automatically what they do is they just panic and go back. It is the fight and flight reaction of the kidney where that will be there. So that is the response which causes to the ready of physical activity that has to be done immediately to come back from the stress. And then it decreases the effectiveness of the immune system. So when the stress level is increasing in the body, that will definitely decreases the immune system, where that is prone to like more of illness. That is like the cold will be there, fever will be there, body pain will be there, and they won't be able to do their regular work in general. So all these things will be there because of the stress. But if it is prolonged, that is the stage 2, it happens, then the stress continues and the body adapts to be a like stressor. So they will be going to a psychological like a psychiatrist, and they will be getting some tablet, where only if they take the tablet they will be feeling better and they go to sleep. Otherwise they feel that if I'm not taking the tablet I won't be able to sleep, my stress is increasing. To that much they will make their mind act towards that, and the stress will be ruling their mind as well as the body. So all these things will be making the energy conservation, where they don't go for the work and they be calm. So the energy conservation will be there. So till they feel that the energy is lost, they will be keeping quiet. So all this like one way it is uh, uh, like the depression. So the stress, and then the later it will be called as the depression, where they will be isolating themselves from the other people, like the society or like from the family members. Initially they will be shouting and shouting and like quarreling, everything will happen, but at one point they want to be silent. So that peace of mind they need, so they isolate themselves from the others. And then the in the second stage itself, the other thing happens is this commonly happens in the female, where they intake more of food. Because if like a spouse is like if the life partner is like quarreling or fighting, immediately the female they will be having, like I'm not telling all, but most of the female will be having a habit of like eating junk foods or whatever is there available in the home right now. They will be just having a gulp. So they don't feel that my stomach is filled, or I like this food. They don't have any feeling for that, but just for the stress feel, they will be having the food more and more. So the energy conservation also will be higher, and the like the food intake also will be maximized. So after a particular time, if they keep on putting the food like intake in this way because of the stress, they will lead to obesity, and that leads to the like increased level of cholesterol, which is the LDL, that is the bad cholesterol, will be increased in their body. So then the HDL, the LDL will be increased, and which leads to many other problems. That is hypertension will be there, and also diabetes also one of the thing which triggers because of the stress. So the insulin like a deficiency may occur. So all this is like the lifestyle disease. It's because of the major thing which we have, that is the stress in our body. So if you just neglect the stress, whether it's a eustress or distress, you balance in your body, then automatically will be free from all other lifestyle diseases. So that is the one. And the next general adaptation is like the stage 3, where it is complete exhaustion is happening, and then the stress pretends for long time, versus for long time, and the body resists themselves, like reduces or like collapse quickly. If someone says any word, then immediately they get hurt and they start crying. Or even for a simple a small word, even if they are younger than them, the person who's having stress, they will be breaking down completely. Like for example, a woman is having like a stress, that is a distress. She's quarreling every day in the home, and because of that the husband and wife problem is there. And if a baby or like a children, the kids in the home, if they say that you are also doing the same, to how you are doing to papa, you are doing to me also, if that word is said by the kid, then definitely the mother will be broken, and they will be like attempting like a suicide or doing any harm to their body by scratching with a knife or doing something harm to their physical body, they will be doing. So this is like the adaptation, where it is the like a stage 3. They don't want to have any small words also from their dear and near ones. So that is where the infection and the chronic diseases also occurs. And then next is like the uh, thing, so where it is like a short term physical stress happens, and then the long term physical stress happens. So the short term in the sense, so when I'm talking itself, like slightly I have the eustress, because it is like the direct, like a live webinar I'm just giving. So I'll be having like the, as I'm talking about the stress itself, I'll be having the eustress lightly, because till my session gets over, I'll be feeling like a little like conservative or like a little tightened. My body will be stiff and the mouth is getting dried, and I feel sweaty. So all this is like a short-term physical stress which happens in the body. But once this is like a persisting for a long time, then that is with the severe kind of stress, where that is in this like a short term, like a rapid breathing will be there. So as if for the person is running for a kilometers and coming back, the breathing will be, and then the sweating will be more, and then they feel like nausea, like a vomiting sensation, and sometimes they feel like butterflies in the stomach. And even sometimes during the exam time, many will be facing this problem, that is diarrhea. So if a person is like going for exam, they will, the prior day itself, they feel like a tensed, and they feel like the body is getting tired, and sometimes they feel like they will be having like like Sir, I am audible? Participants, any one of you please tell me, am I audible? Okay, thank you. So there is a power cut, so that's why. Okay. So it is the tense muscles and feeling nausea, and even a desire to urinate also will be there. Like every like now and then, like 15 minutes of time or like 1 hour of time, they will be going for the urination. So all this happens, and then For the long term physical stress, that is like the insomnia, where they don't sleep at all. Always they will be waking up until like a 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning, and after, because of the tiredness, they go to sleep by 4 o'clock in the morning, and they sleep till like a 10 in the morning. So this is where they are because of the tiredness they go to sleep, and sometimes even they go to sleep by 4 o'clock, they used to wake up by 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. That is 1 hour of it's like a napping they'll do, but it's not like the deep sleep they have. So that is where it is called as the insomnia. It is the sleepless problem. And then the change in the appetite, they don't eat properly, and they feel hunger every now and then. Like 1 hour before only they would have had like a full meals, but immediately after 1 hour they want something to eat or munch. So like that they will be having the problem, and even the sexual disorders will be there. And aches and the pains, always they have the body pains, and this will be in later stages they will be leading with the having the problem like a frozen shoulders. So the frozen shoulder is nothing but they won't be able to raise the arm beyond this. So if they want to raise their hand like this itself, they will be having the pain, and where the pain will be persisting for a long time, and they don't able to do any of the work. So that is where with that, and the frequent cold and cough will be there. So because their immune system is low, they will be having all this physical stress, physical problem symptoms, and they are prone to illness. So how the behavioral stress symptoms will be? So it is nothing with the like a yawning, and then talking too fast and too loud, because immediately we'll be saying if any person is talking louder in front of us or thing, you please calm down and then talk. You don't talk in a tension, or you are like now in a stress, so you don't talk right now, because that words whatever come in the stress, that will be hurting others. So you better calm down and then come back to me and talk. So all this things will be there, and some will be having the biting of nails, or things like they will be pressing their hands in this way, or sometimes they'll be making the knuckles like a tightening. So all these things are like the behavioral stress. And sometimes they make it as an emotion, they cry a lot or they shout, and they even smile sometimes and just be calm. So all these things are like the behavioral changes they will be having it. And then the behavioral changes, it is how they behave, it is uh, by reducing their effectiveness and making your accident prone. They will be riding very harsh if they have the stress. They don't consider that this is the main road or the highways. They will be riding very fast, and they don't see what is interfering in between. If a dog is crossing also, they won't be able to see, but they will be seeing with the naked eyes. But mind level, that like a coordination with the eyesight and the brain will not be there. So they will be going and hitting the dog, and they will be in an accident condition. So this is like all the negative stress which makes them, and they judge in a different way, because they don't know which is right and which is wrong. So all the things which makes them more and more like a mistake, and even like a faulty things they will be making it very often. So that is all with the behavior stress. And then the performance stress is where you make the decisions in a wrong way. So, and then the motor skills, that is like a movement, or if a person is a running, if and they have the stress, they won't be able to perform in their running, or in the field of any sports field. If they have stress, or if they feel like their body is not cooperating, and if they have revenge on any particular person in the field of sports itself, then all that will be shown in their motor skills, where their movement or the action will not be done in a proper way, and they don't enjoy their work properly. And all these thoughts, negative thoughts, will be keep on building, and that will be showing in their action. And then how we have to conquer the stress, that is we have to bring in the stress into our control with a healthy living. So there are many ways. Initially, we have to examine our food. So what are the foods we are taking in? So that is we are taking too much of a salty foods, or too much of a spicy foods, or too much of a oily foods, like a deep fried, and then non-vegetarian foods too much during that time, then that will be increasing the stress than decreasing, because it is all considered as the rajasic and then the tamasic foods in the yogic field. So there are like a three food things which we have classifications, that is sattvic, rajasic, and then tamasic. Sattvic food is nothing but with the natural foods which is available, and even if it is a prepared one or like a processed one, that should be had immediately within like a 2 hours to 3 hours after preparation. That is, if you are having preparing the rice in the morning, like immediately after 2 to 3 hours, you have to finish that rice, and you should not carry out till the night. So that will be having like a bacterial growth, where it is called as the rajasic, and then the preservation is in the fridge for the next day, that will be called as the tamasic foods. So this is all like the foods where it is getting decomposed and it is taken into your body. So that decomposed or like the uh, negative foods which is having in our which is there in our body, will be showing as the result in our action. So there is a saying also, uh, the food what you take will be showing you how you are. So that is where like our food has to be in a proper way, our how our like health as well as the manners, or the uh, behavior will be shown. So in that way we have to lower our salt level, and then the like a sugar and all the most of the carbonated beverages has to be reduced or completely avoided, and more of like a caffeine, or the sort of things where you feel drowsy and addicted like a drugs. So all that should be avoided, and where you have to increase your food with the vegetables, fruits, and more of vitamins and minerals. All these things has to be increased. As well, you have to take lots of water. That is based on the person's condition. So if a person is having a heat body, then the person has to take a minimum of like a half liter from their regular intake. So that will be making their body hydrated. Whereas if the person is having cold body, or like a person is having watery body, they will not need much of water, because the water which is there in the body will be having a adequate effect for building up the other nutrients in the body. So whatever the food which you intake, that will be digested properly, and that has to assimilate, and then it has to absorb in your body. Because most of the people, they don't know how the absorption is happening, and how much they get the nutrients out of the food what they intake. They feel that I am taking morning fruits and afternoon fruits, and even night dinner time fruits, but still my nutrition level is very low. But you have to think that, or you have to consult a dietitian before taking the food habits in a improper the proper way, where your fruit diet should be like a separate one from the other normal diet, because all the nutrients in the fruits will be digested very easily, and that will be absorbed in the maximum amount. But the food particles, whatever the processed way, that takes a slow digestion, and that will be taking a maximum amount of nutrients from that. So it will be in a complex form, where it has to divide, and then it dilutes, and it comes to the simplified form of nutrients, and then only that will be absorbed in the body. So while you are making any food changes from your normal, you have to consult a dietitian, and then you then go for the proper diet. The next healthy living is the rest. So we all say, I'm resting for 1 hour in between my work. But is that the rest is a complete relaxation for you, where you have to, you should not think any work, or you should not think about anything that is done to be in the next period, or like the next hour. So that is called as a stress. But always we have, that is, I am sitting leisurely in my place, but my mind is keep on working, that what I have to do next, what my future is about, or what my children will be doing there, or what I have to do next, or what my family will be doing next. Maybe your physical body is like sitting simply, but still your mind is keep on working, and that is not considered as a rest. So minimum of like a sleep, deep sleep in a day, like it should be 6 hours, and resting in between your like a morning to your night work, at least 1 hour or half an hour you have to rest properly, that you should not think. Better you just close the eyes and relax yourself, do the breathing properly. That is, in the breathing, in the sense, you have to do a breathing where it should be complete breathing, or the considered as the deep breathing. So in like a yoga, we'll be saying it is the yogic breathing, where you're like a chest level, abdomen level, and then the clavicular, that is the upper part of your body, should be completely feeling free and energetic when you do the breathing. That is, if you inhale, many will be feeling that I am doing very shallow breathing. That is, I am not inhaling very deep. So that is where you have to do the shallow breathing, sorry, like you have to do the deep breathing every time when you have the stress. So that increases the oxygen level in your body and makes your mind clear from the stress. So that is what with that. And the next is the exercise. So minimum of 25 minutes or a half an hour you have to do a severe vigorous exercise for your body. That is in the case of like the cardio exercises we'll be saying, or like in the yogic term we'll be saying the flow yoga, which is called as the Surya Namaskar. Doing a Surya Namaskar in the fast phase or in the slow phase
கிரிக்கெட் பிளேயர் மாதிரி இருக்கு தலைவா.
increasing your body's metabolism. So that will be enough for everyday life. That is doing 1 round or like a 10 rounds of Surya
எங்கூருக்காரன் நடராஜ் அடிக்கிறான் பத்தியில்ல,
they can
பவுலிங்
do it.
பவுலர்
Okay.
எங்கூருக்காரன் தான்.
So they can do it in that way. And like they have to sweat a lot also while they do the exercise. And like the other way is a lot like talking things out like with the persons, that is like sharing your like a feeling, whether you feel like a hatred, or you feel like depressed, or you feel happy, whatever the emotions, if you talk to others in the family, and that definitely will free from the stress, and it will not be carried out the next day. So that is like even Abdul Kalam says that when you work in the time and don't carry it to your home. So where that is like the space you have to give to your family, and you have to enjoy the time with the family. And when you are in the work, you have to work in between the time, that is like a 10 o'clock morning to 6 o'clock in the office. If you're working between that, you have to finish all your works, and then you should not postpone, or you should not overwork also in the later time. So that shows that you're inefficient in doing the work. So the right time you have to finish your work, and you spend the maximum time with your family, where they will be giving more positive things, that is like energy to your body as well as the mind, and that will be giving a progress in the life. And the next will be with the like properly organizing things, and making the things in a good effective way will will really help in the doing things in the right way. And then learn to manage your anger. So sometimes uh, the spouse itself, they'll be saying, you are showing the work pressure to me, but will you be showing to your manager or to your higher officials, because I am the least person in your life, that is why you are showing the anger to me. So that is not the case, but we have to know how to manage the anger when it is in the work, and how to manage the anger when it is in the family members. So we should not hurt anyone, but still we have to just talk out and make them clear that how we feel that particular time, and make them clear in a happy way. So that is things which we have to do in the many situations. And we get anger often, but still we have to think, that is the rethink the situation, and we have to come back to the normal way, where that gives to the flexibility in the life. That is like in Tamil there will be saying like புல்லு போல வந்துட்டு வளைஞ்சு கொடுத்தா நம்ம வாழ்க்கை நல்லா இருக்கும். ஸோ மரம் போல நிமிர்ந்து தான் நிற்பேன் அப்படின்னா, ஏதோ ஒரு புயல் வரும்போது கண்டிப்பா நம்மளோட சரிவு அங்க இருக்கும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி, ஸோ லைக் தட் we have to bend wherever we want, and then we have to come back again. So it is not that always we have to bend. We have to stand straight in some situation when we are in a right place. Okay. And then the healthy living, so it is like the play therapy we call it as, or like the yogic therapy, in the way we have to like laugh a lot. There is a laughter therapy is also there in the yoga, where we have to smile always and be happy. So when you keep having your smiley face, that brings the all the like the negativity out, and then the positivity in. So your place and the surrounding people will be always happy, and they make you also happy. So that is what with the play therapy, and then the laughter therapy. And then take charge of your like a life, and we have to balance with all the situations. So that is a financial situation, or your family, or your work, everything. A man and a woman has to balance themselves. Even their family life has to go very smooth. So that is what with. And we have to drink like more of nutritious thing than like alcohol, drugs, and then the other things. We have to go with all the natural products, herbs and shrubs, and the drinks, amla drink every day, like that. If you make it a habit, then definitely that will be like a detoxification. That is, detoxification is a word which is used commonly nowadays, because that is removing the toxins from your body, so that makes your body purified. So the drinks are available in the market, and you can prefer are any herbs or shrubs which is available in the market, you can have it. So these things will be helping you to recover from the stress. And they are all that need is a lengthy list things we will be having, that I have to go to a parlor, I have to go to a spa and make myself like a massage completely and relax my body, and I have to go to a horse riding, or I have to go to a swimming pool, or I have to go and learn the music. Many will be having a list of things that I have to do in my lifetime, but they will not be having a time. So what you have to need is you have to allow the hobbies to be done in your life whenever the time is allowed. That is the weekends, or when you're free, like 1 month I'm just resting myself, then you go learn something new, so that will be relaxing your body. So all the thing whatever you do is that is to relax. So like a gardening, or like a massaging, or boating, and spending with your loved one, and relaxing with the nature. So all this will be showed as the relaxing things. So with this I complete my stress management thing. So if you have any queries or like a doubts, you can just ask me. So I think in the chat box I can see some messages. Okay. So if you have any queries, you can just type it in the chat box. Or if sir, you're doing the unmute, then they can talk to me in person also. Do anyone have any queries?
Ma'am, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am. Tell me.
Excellent session, ma'am. Much need for the hour, ma'am. Need of the hour, we'll say. A lot of stress due to this pandemic and online teaching. Again, it's a new dimensions in teaching.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's a very good thing. But my question is, ma'am, when we do yoga or meditation,
Yes, ma'am.
how it helpful for all our stress, ma'am? Because the stress is different, ma'am. Different level of stress each individual is facing today.
Yes, ma'am.
How it will be helpful? Is there any different meditation and the yoga is there for our different stress, or it is same for all, ma'am? This is my question, ma'am.
Okay. So, when we talk about the meditation, many persons will be saying whether they know yoga or they don't know yoga. In general, if they see a person who is having stress, they will be telling that you go and do meditation. That will be like relaxing all your problems. But the thing is not so. Like where the stress person cannot do the meditation because they will be having more thoughts than the normal person. They will be thinking like every single second they will be having the thoughts increase where they will not be able to sit in a place. So what I recommend personally is you go for the chanting, like any chanting based on the religion, like Gandhiji says, like Sri Ram, Sri Ram, Sri Ram. So in that way, whatever the God, whoever you like, even your own name, you can start chanting. So that chanting will give the positive vibration in your body as well. That will be giving a breathing pattern also, where when you chant, that is, for example, my name is Uma Maheshwari. If I say Uma Maheshwari, so that lengthy like a chanting will make my name also get energized, as well as my body also needs that elongation, that is the breathing out. So in that way initially they can make it. Afterwards, after they feel like I am relaxed now, so then they can go for the silent meditation, that is sitting for 5 minutes to 10 minutes in a silent meditation. That will help. That also what they have to do is they have to slowly think all the things, that is the negative things and the positive things, they have to list out, and slowly they have to destroy one by one the thoughts. Then only they can make it to a zero thought. Otherwise, one by one, like if I'm thinking like I'm just chanting now, so how the chanting will be, when the chanting is done, what the effect will be. So this is like the chain thought, we say, like next to next will be like locking one, and that will be making as a chain form in the thoughts, which is not good for the meditation. If at all any person is having like the chain thought, then they have to stop the meditation. They can better go for their regular activity, and once they feel that I am relaxed now completely, I'm not going to think any of the thing, even they say themselves like that, they will be having thoughts, that is like a thoughts per minute, we say TPM. So that needs to be brought down completely, at least minimum to 20 or like below 20. Then only they can go to the meditation level. Otherwise the person will be feeling very very discomfort while they do the breathing, meditation. So better they can go for the breathing, and they bring the stress into normal, and then they can do the meditation. So conclusion is like, initially if a person is having stress, they can do the pranayama and not the meditation. Okay, once they get out of the stress completely, they can go for the meditation, which will be increasing their energy level, as well as the like a state of like a happiness. Always they will be able to manage the positive and the negative in that time. So that is what, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so
Thank you.
much, ma'am. Thank you.
So there is a question like a COVID time, more than 9 hours wearing mask, how to improve breathing? So like it's not while you do the while you wear the mask also, you can do the breathing that is in a very slow way. For example, I will be showing you that is not in general. If you inhale, we'll be inhaling to the shallow breathing, that is the halfway of our chest level or the lungs level. So it has to penetrate in and it has to go to the lower lobe of the lungs. That is where your lung capacity will be increased, and then that will be giving the more of a carbon dioxide out, and then oxygen intake will be more. But when we do the shallow breathing, what happens? The residues will be stuck or it will be stored down in the lower lobe, which is like equivalent to the smoking. So how the smoking lungs will be seen? The same way when the person is doing shallow breathing, they will also have this problem, and that is the reason why they develop with the asthmatic problem. So in general, what we have to do is the regular breathing as a very slow breathing, one inhale and two exhale. That is 1 second if you inhale, that should be exhaled 2 seconds. That is 1:2 ratio if you do your breathing. For example, if a person is breathing for 10 seconds, he is able to inhale, that is this makes 5 seconds, and when we exhale, so this makes 10 seconds. So this is what 1:2 ratio. So this in general every person can do whenever they wear the mask or when they remove the mask also they can do. So when you be aware of your breathing, then definitely that will increase the breathing capacity, where automatically your chest, that is the shoulder region, will be broadened. So if a person is having crooked shoulder, it is of two reasons. Maybe their spinal alignment will be wrong, or sometimes they will be having any of the respiratory disorders. So the person who's doing a good breathing, they will be definitely having a shoulder broad. So that is why more of a, like the sportsman, we can see their shoulders broad and their physique will be fit. So it is sensed that they have the good breathing pattern. Okay, so the breathing has to be done in a 1:2 ratio. Anyone? Do anyone have any doubts? If you have any doubts, you can just type in the chat box. Okay. So I'll just say few tips where you can come out of this stress. You can just enjoy your life in whatever the situation you have, and you just come out of the problem and witness the problem as a third person. Definitely, we all have a solution for the problem. It can be a huge problem or a small problem. Just have the witness. That is, you're not involved in that problem. As a third person, you think about that problem and then you tackle the problem. So there definitely we all find the proper solution and immediately will recover from the stress. So that is the one thing. And for the students, as nowadays they are more in the online classes, and even the staff, the faculty members who are teaching also in more in the online classes, they get the eye problem, and because of that they get the sleepless problem and then the headache, migraine. All these are like a accumulated problem for many persons. So what they have to do is, like, you can relax your eyes every 1 hour just by placing your palm in this way. So if there is a like eye cup which is available in many pharmacy also, surgical pharmacies, if you are not getting that, you can just make your palm in this way, like a depressed way, and you can just pour the water in this, and then you just place your eyes and make it blink. So while doing the blinking, what happens is your eye level will be like the water level in the eyes will be maintained, and then the irritation, as you are viewing more towards the screen, that bright light, that irritation will be reduced. So definitely that will not have the prolonged effect of getting the headache as well as the migraine and any other problem related to that. So this I can suggest you, like every 1 hour you just splash the water and wash your face, and then do the eye washing for both the eyes separately. You have to fill the water and you have to wash it. So whatever the dust or any like irritating particles is there, or like any chemicals which is secreted in the eye, that can also be reduced, and it can maintain the pH level of the eyes. So that is one thing which you can do.